What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Brent Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for an up to $1,000 deposit match bonus. It's 50% of whatever you deposit. So you do $100, you get 50 for free. If you put $2,000 on there, you get $1,000 for free. 25, you get $1,250 for free, etc., etc. So it is definitely worth your time to sign up on Underdog if you've not done it yet and take advantage of that promo code DailyDog. All right, yesterday we gave out our first Thursday Night Football slip of the week. We're going to give out another one here. Then we got some MLB stuff that we're going to get to as well. So let's start out with our new Thursday Night Football slip. This game featuring the Giants and the Cowboys. I made it pretty clear yesterday. I actually like the Giants in this spot a lot. Daniel Jones is 1-12 in primetime as a starter, which is obviously not very good. But also, you don't expect a guy to kind of have such a terrible, terrible split for primetime games for their career. I mean, yes, that trend kind of means something, but I'm not really going to get lost in that as well. The situation changes, the opponents change. And again, I think that this Giants team isn't necessarily as bad as they looked right away. Daboll was a good coach. The Vikings, the team that blew them out week one, Vikings are awesome. Vikings are undefeated. The Vikings have beat the Texans and the 49ers, who are both obviously Super Bowl contenders. The Commanders aren't that bad, as we saw them taking on the Bengals on Monday Night Football and winning that one as a 7.5-point underdog. So, yeah, I don't know if the Giants are actually that bad. They definitely made the Browns look bad, which spoiler alert, I think the Browns are pretty bad. So, good on them for taking care of business in a spot where a lot of people expected them to fold. And the Cowboys are kind of in disarray. They rallied the troops and made it interesting a little bit at the end versus the Ravens last week. But just getting your butt kicked 2 weeks in a row at home is not a good look for any team. Yes, they looked good on the road versus the Browns, but I just said it. The Giants look good on the road versus the Browns as well. But without further ado, without fully handicapping this game, it's known that I like the Giants in this spot, but we're going with Malik Nabers higher than 6.5 receiving yards. Malik Nabers is a stud. He gets so many, did I say 6.5 receiving yards? 6.5 receptions. Malik Nabers higher than 6.5 receptions. He had 12 targets last week, 18 targets the week before. Daniel Jones really just realizes the best offensive plan is to throw it to Nabers and make him make a play, try to throw it on the sidelines, try to make it where only he can make the throw to where only he can get it. And that worked really well last week while Nabers had 2 toe tap and touchdowns in the end zone. So a shout out to Malik Nabers for being a stud wide receiver. And again, I'm eating some crow because preseason I thought he was going to have lower than 940.5 receiving yards because I didn't believe in Daniel Jones. I didn't really expect the level of volume we're seeing here, which is absolutely insane. So we're taking the Nabers higher than 6.5 receiving yards. Next, we're going to a wide receiver on the other side. We're going to CeeDee Lamb higher than 0.5 touchdowns. The Cowboys are desperate. They need to just kind of stick to the bread and butter. The bread and butter is his CeeDee Lamb getting a ton of targets, getting a ton of receptions, and just making some big plays and scoring. I really love the shot of CeeDee Lamb scoring in this one, and you're getting an enhanced multiplier at this point in the week. I feel like before game day, this is going to be a flat multiplier or reduced juice, so get CeeDee Lamb touchdown on your slips ASAP if you're like me and believe that the Cowboys are going to be forced to pass, and if they're forced to pass, that gives Lamb a great shot at scoring a touchdown. Last one, Rico Dowdle, the running back, the change of pace running back for the Cowboys, higher than 13.5 receiving yards in this Thursday Night Football game at the Giants. Simply put, I think the Giants are going to score, and I think that the Cowboys are going to need to move the ball. And when you're trying to move the ball quickly, in 2-minute drills on passing on third down, guys like Rico Dowdle get involved in the passing game. He's had higher than 13.5 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 games, going all the way back to last year's playoffs. So, sign me up for Rico Dowdle higher than 13.5 receiving yards here. And this one steamed up a little bit. If you listen to the Sports Gambling Podcast with Sean and Ryan Kramer, the flagship podcast of this network, I was on with those guys on Monday night after the football games, and we were discussing this one a little bit. And one of my favorite props was Rico Dowdle higher than 12.5 receiving yards. We're already steamed past that. So I guess other great minds think alike. CLV doesn't really necessarily mean it's going to hit, but again, Dowdle higher than 13.5 receiving yards is a great spot. He can do this on one catch, obviously. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. This is just a 6x flat, no, nothing special slip. That doesn't mean it's not good. If we get a 6x return on this, I'll be happy. I promise you that. Again, it's Malik Nabers higher than 6.5 receiving or receptions, CeeDee Lamb higher than half of a touchdown, and Rico Dowdle higher than 13.5 receiving yards. And then I'll quickly run over recap the slip we gave out yesterday. Dak Prescott higher than 0.5 interceptions. Again, I think the Cowboys are passing a lot. If they're passing a lot in this game, there's a higher chance something gets intercepted. QB play in the league is just not that good right now. And again, this Giants defense is going to be able to get some inside pressure with Dexter Lawrence. I don't think Dak's going to like that. He might try to throw up some jump balls, maybe trying to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb. So let's get a pick here. Then we're going with Malik Nabers touchdown, higher than half a touchdown, 1.31x. If they're anywhere near the red zone, Daniel Jones is just tossing it up in the air and hoping for the best. Malik Nabers is probably going to win those jump balls. He's that good. I take back every little bit of indecision I had about Malik Nabers before the season because the dude is amazing. Last one, I have the Cowboys kicker, Brandon Aubrey, higher than 1.5 field goals made from yesterday's slip. Again, Brandon Aubrey, one of the best kickers in the league, obviously. Brandon Aubrey's got a really big leg. And again, I think the Cowboys might be slowing down a little bit in the red zone sometimes here. In the first half, I think they're going to just take points when they're available. 1.5 field goals made for Brandon Aubrey, easy one. 6.59x is the odds on that slip that I gave out yesterday. And if you're tracking at home, there's two Thursday Night Football slips I have given out. Malik Nabers higher than 6.5 receptions. CeeDee Lamb higher than half a touchdown. Rico Dowdle higher than 13.5 receiving yards. That's 6x. And the other one is Dak Prescott higher than half an interception. Malik Nabers higher than half a touchdown. And Brandon Aubrey higher than 1.5 field goals made for 6.59x. So on tomorrow's show, when it is actually Thursday, I'm going to be playing some lowers most likely. But the way the human mind works is people take hires earlier in the week, and then or take hires just based on they want to root for human achievement, right? They don't want people to fail and not have a big statistic game, because seeing a big statistical game is fun, and that just is in your best interest to see that and enjoy that. So when we get to game day, these numbers are going to be inflated, so I'll be playing lowers on tomorrow's slip, 99% sure, and there's some stuff I've got my eye on, but you will have to tune into that show to get that stuff. All right, we're going with a big MLB vibe slip here. I know that I've been doing the vibe slips the last couple days, and it's been really fun as we're in this last frame of the MLB season. There's a lot of variables in play right now, so I'm not really going crazy with the stats and going deep into the analytics on these ones. These are just kind of what I'm feeling based on what I've seen from these teams lately and who I think is performing well to close out the year. So we are going to start out with Juan Soto higher than half a total base versus the Orioles. It's just too low. Obviously, Soto always has high walk equity for every plate appearance, but he can get a knock, and especially in this, they're still trying to close out this division. So go Yankees. Next, we're going big bucks. Byron Buxton higher than 1.5 total bases versus Edward Cabrera and the Marlins. Twins got embarrassed by the Marlins yesterday. Twins can't be dropping games to anyone, let alone the Marlins. Bucks is a leader on this team. He needs to lead the charge here and get 1.5 total bases in this the game versus the Marlins. It's come on, Twins. If you want to do anything this year, which has been a pretty solid year overall, then you need this one. Next, we're going to Nolan Arenado, old man out in Denver, the Cardinal playing out in Denver, I should say. Higher than 1.5 total bases versus Austin Gomber. Austin Gomber, terrible pitcher. That's just kind of what it is this year. His season was stunted, and he's just not really gotten off the ground. Meanwhile, Nolan Arenado, righty versus lefty matchup. Arenado likes to, he's got a slow bat speed, but he does hit the ball hard. So let's see if he can take advantage of this weather and altitude in Colorado and get that ball over the fence, or at least get a double or a couple singles out there. Last one, Dylan Cease of the Padres, higher than 4.5 hits allowed versus the Dodgers. Dodgers, just basically, this isn't the last one, by the way. This is the second to last one. This is a 5-leg slip, but Cease higher than 4.5 hits allowed. Cease is a guy that is really high variance. He tries to strike everyone out. He gets good strike numbers, but there's also a lot of contact numbers out there as well. Dodgers dropped one on a triple play last night, so the Dodgers are going to be ready to roll here. And the Padres aren't done with this division yet. I mean, the Padres are surging at the right time, so the Dodgers are definitely going to be up for this one, and I don't think they're going to be afraid of Cease. And then the last one, Shohei Ohtani, steal a base. He's still chasing greatness. Shohei Ohtani, steal a base. This is a 28.55x multiplier. Again, that's Juan Soto higher than half a total base. Byron Buxton higher than 1.5 total bases. Nolan Arenado higher than 1.5 total bases. Dylan Cease higher than 4.5 hits allowed. And Shohei Ohtani higher than half a total base. That's Shohei Ohtani higher than half a stolen base. That's 28.55x multiplier. Last one, the Dong squad. I got to go quickly. Ketel Marte higher than half of a home run against the Giants. The Giants hit 1 million home runs on the D-backs yesterday. Literally, I think their first 10 runs were all scored on home runs. So the Ketel Marte, he's a leader of this team. He needs to get one back. Do it for the D-backs. Get some pride there. Home run versus the Giants. Shohei Ohtani. He's on the dunk squad slip for every day the rest of the season. I already said it. You're not surprised here. Brent Rooker went 0 for 4 yesterday. Brent Rooker is going to get a dong against Corey Bradford and the Rangers here. This dong squad is a flex. It's 37.58x. If it goes 3 for 3, if it goes 2 for 3, that's 7.03x. That is all I got for you today. Let's make some money.